Old friends are like old memories. They always remind you of your past, and we are reminding ourselves of the past episodes from this week of Good Company for the best of Good Company with me, Hollie Taylor. I'm Hollie Taylor. We are talking about some of those ways we have learned to say no to some of the events as we are in the busy Christmas season. And for you, maybe it's just about feeling super awkward when you go to these events. Like, how do you make conversation these days? I feel like post-pandemic, it's hard for me sometimes to just be there and have a good conversation. Things you can do, like this is one that we use a lot. Ask about the weather, talk about the weather. The weather is a great equalizer because everyone experiences it. You can try bring up the news, although right now world news seems a little depressing and divisive, but it's a tactic. Also, a lot of people like to talk. So if you just ask some questions, it'll generally get the ball rolling. Like, oh, where are you from? Or, hey, where'd you grow up? And people will share their stories and you can just ask questions. Then they do all the talking. You don't have to worry about anything. What was it like growing up in Belleville? Did you have lots of friends? Did they ask you lots of questions like you're a reporter? And if you're asking these questions, also look interested in the conversation. Don't space out. Don't be like producer Mike right now.
What?
Oh my goodness. Okay. One more. You can always allow for silence. I know in Radioland for us, silence is like not good. It's horrible. It gives me anxiety. But silence is sometimes a natural pause. It's a gentle change in pace, and maybe it's your out as well. So just, sit in the silence. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They're probably more awkward feeling than you. So some ideas to get those conversations rolling for some of those events that you feel like you have to go to. The ones that have family attending or you haven't seen people for a while. But I do, again, love the idea of just setting those boundaries. What is your goal this Christmas season? And then allow those events to be the ones you say yes to. And the rest, honestly, people will totally understand. I'm Hollie Taylor. We're talking about giving on this Giving Tuesday. And it is, I think, in this day and age, something we have to be a lot more intentional about. And there are so many different charities, it's hard to select which one you want to be a part of. So creating a giving plan is definitely a healthy thing to create, because then you know what you've allocated to giving, and it's not going to be a little, more on the spontaneous side. Also, if you start with 1% of your income to give to a charity, then it's a beautiful step in the right direction. Maybe as you get blessed with more, you can give more. Some people like to set up automatic monthly giving or finding different ways to give, maybe of your time. You could volunteer. That's a way of giving. So there are so many little things that we can do. Maybe you're getting a tax credit. Once the new year rolls around, you can make a point of giving once you get that back. And you can say, all right, this is coming back. Let's give away a few more dollars here or there. And then, of course, each and every year or as needed, revise that plan and tailor it to fit the situation that you are in for that season. Because we can always give a little, but we do need to make sure we are understanding what we can, like what's our capacity to give, and then align yourselves with charities that are ones that just you feel so passionate about that you really want to get behind them. So just a few tips. Do you have any tips as to how you've determined which charities to give to? You can always text in 905-338-1250. A few of you already texted in saying we pray about it, like we pray over our finances. And that's absolutely a beautiful and very healthy way to start. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Good Company. Whether you're joining us through a smart speaker, just saying, hey, play AM 1250 Joy Radio and tune in, or maybe you're using your computer and you're streaming us at joyradio.ca. It's a pleasure to hang out with you this afternoon. Got some good news for you today. I love this story. It's coming out of Maui. It's been a very devastating year for people on the island. And honestly, heading into Christmas after the loss that so many of them have had, it's overwhelming. So it's warming my heart to see that Walmart, and the Salvation Army have come together to spread some Christmas cheer. And they are surprising thousands of children in Maui with Christmas gifts. Walmart donated 35,000 toys to children just to brighten up their Christmas spirit. And so it's pretty cool seeing that the Salvation Army will be able to decorate a large gym. They're going to make it super festive, and then they're going to be giving away lots and lots and lots of presents for these children, including gift cards as well for their families to use during this Christmas season. So a beautiful story coming out of Maui after, yes, what was a tragic and devastating year for some of those communities. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today on Good Company. It's always a blast hearing your stories as we were talking about personal space. And a lot of us definitely feeling a little more uncomfortable in larger settings, although some of you say that it's actually getting a little bit easier now. So I'm so glad that you are able to transition back to feeling more comfortable in some of those spaces that we just weren't able to be in for a couple of years. And I know, too, a lot of people, when it comes to comfortable levels, it's maybe the job that you've had to switch things up. And a lot of people losing jobs, in between jobs. It's been a really interesting struggle on so many different levels, much more serious than just space. So maybe you are finding yourself in a season of transition. You're heading into Christmas. Honestly, I've had a few conversations as of late, people in between jobs for one reason or another. And so here is something just to keep in mind. This is according to Hannah Louise, just about getting that next job. And what are some of those things that you have to do mentally to be able to land that next opportunity? And so she would say there's 3 affirmations, one of them being the power of your personal branding. So doing things each and every day, utilizing social media, posting articles, and really kind of creating an online persona of the things you would like to be doing, because you'll start to attract those people who are in those particular vocations. Thanks to algorithms. Science. The other thing is investing in yourself. So doing the courses, reading the books, finding coaches to be able to elevate your skills. You, yes, will be spending money, but it's an investment in your future. And the other thing that she says was to manifest career success, which I think is super important. It's about setting those dreams, creating that vision board, praying about it, and just seeing the things that you are wanting to do, is that aligning with what you feel God is calling you to do. And maybe it's just a regular job, but you're going to be called to that job for a bigger reason. And it's just something that you enjoy doing. You just never know what opportunities are out there that God will be able to use for his glory. So just continue to find that connection with him. And even though you don't, in some cases, feel qualified for the opportunities that come to you, again, if you are finding peace in saying yes, even though you feel like, I don't know if I belong here, jump in 2 feet. God will carry you the rest of the way. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Good Company, whether it be through the radio, AM dial 1250, or maybe you're streaming us at joyradio.ca. It is always a pleasure to spend this time with you. I'm Hollie Taylor, and I love this story so much. You never know how in 5 years your life will be completely different. And for Mason Wortman, he was looking at his life and the trajectory and thought, this is not what I'm wanting. This is not helping me to feel like I have purpose. He had a job on Wall Street. So this was a very financially A-okay kind of job. But for him, wasn't fitting the bill. And so he actually left his job, started a pizzeria in Philly, and now he sells pizzas, and he'll sell them for $1 a slice. And he created the Pay a Slice Forward. So you can buy a slice of pizza, not take it with you, but write your name on a Post-it and stick it on the wall. Then if someone comes in who's hungry, they just grab a Post-it and they use that to pay for a pizza slice. So I just love this idea so much. And can you imagine, like, you work in Wall Street and you're just thinking, there's so much more to life. How can I help others? Well, Mason took a jump and now he's changing the lives of so many people.